I just got off the phone with a startup pest controller looking to get more leads. He's tried a whole bunch of stuff. Now, this is quite a competitive space, and my advice was to handle the foundational side of the business. I'm currently logged into a pest control campaign for the last 2 years. This pest control campaign has delivered 2,207 leads that filled out our form on the SEO front and Google Ads. And on top of that are the phone calls. Now, in the pest control space, a lot of the time people have an urgency, they will call. So this is one of those campaigns that drives about as many calls as inquiries, whereas other campaigns will be a web form fill out and not so many calls. So my advice straight up was, hey, you're in a very competitive space. So what we had a look at initially is we had a look at the chunk of the pie. This was in Sydney, so the term pest control Sydney gets searched over 19,000 times each month. Now that is all of the variations of the term pest control. There are 954 unique ways people use the word pest control when they search for it. Now, pest control is one of those spaces that I would personally prefer to run Google ad and SEO, local SEO and organic SEO. I feel like Facebook ads would be the last of my priorities. Sure, when the website picks up a fair bit of traffic, you can fire up a retargeting ad. But in this space, people have an issue. They will generally Google it. They will find a specialist right now. So they're not going to be scrolling through Facebook and they see a pest control ad and think, oh, it'd be nice to get some pest control done at my house. Now, we had a look at the competitors, and there's just this big elephant in the room. This is an absolute startup of a business, trying different things on Marketplace and little boosts, and no website, no Google listing. So I basically set him up to do some homework, and you shouldn't have to pay anyone to do this. Pick up a domain, right? Use your brand, then the term pest control. So his brand plus pestcontrol.com.au was available. I personally recommend Ventra IP, but whoever you want to use to register a domain, they've just been quite reasonable in terms of pricing. GoDaddy or Crazy Domains are usually quite expensive, and don't host sites with them. All of my sites are hosted with Ventra IP, so pick up a domain and just have it sitting there at least. Okay, don't start jumping to building out a site just yet. The next and most important thing, and probably something you should do before you pick up a domain, is you register a Google business listing. So go to Google, type in Google business listing, and register that location. Now, bonus points if you can show your address. These days, it's beginning to be quite hard to do that. And then on top of it, a lot of people don't want to show their home address. So if you're someone that does good work and you're not conning anyone, you can show your address. A lot of my clients, when they start up, they display their address. Displaying an address is a little micro tactic to show up higher on Google Maps, given that there's not too many other competitors in the area. Google knows the difference between a residential property and a commercial property. So if there is a pest controller Google listing in a commercial property, that will get priority over the residential one. However, if there are no pest controllers in that area, in that suburb, you can very quickly pop up to the top of Google Maps, which is the 3-pack of Google Maps, within a few weeks, months, depending on how competitive the market is. Google business listing, register it. Fill out all of your details. What kind of details do we fill out? What kind of services do you offer? Go to Canada's best pest controllers, go to UK, go to London, go to Sydney, go to Melbourne. Have a look at those sites. Click on whatever it is, Jim's Pest Control. Click on their services and take note of the services that they've built dedicated pages for. If you do those services, go ahead and actually fill out those service sections in your Google business listing, not just the name of the service, add a description. You have AI, you have ChatGPT, just make the tone Aussie spelling, put your own spin on it. Don't just pull stuff out from ChatGPT. Google these days is cleaning up stuff that's polluting the internet. So, moral of the story, set up your Google business listing. Try load it up with genuine, real photos of jobs, termites. What you do might not be pretty, but it's definitely something that attracts eyeballs. Jeez, look at the size of those termites. Look at them in action. Load up videos. So that Google business listing is like a social media platform that you should be using weekly, at least monthly, adding things to it. Now, as soon as that's registered, get as many Google reviews as you possibly can. Cousins, brothers, parents, mates, previous clients, of course. Send them an SMS, send them an email saying, hey, it would mean the world to me if you left me a Google review. Send them a link to leaving a review. Make their job as easy as possible. Heck, you can even write their reviews for them. Go and generate a few templates using ChatGPT. Write exactly what you did for them. Look back at your invoicing system. What was the job? It was mice. It was termites. It was what? Make it easy for them to leave you a review. People are impatient. They don't have enough time. So big focus is on setting up your Google business listing before you consider a website. Now, if you're starting up, you're a sole operator, you're offering your services as cheap as it possibly can, I don't think it's reasonable to fork out big money for a WordPress website. My 5 cents to you is go to Wix.com, Squarespace or Weebly, some sort of an easy page builder, even though I never use those to build my sites to rank on Google. But it's a good process to learn yourself, especially if you have a little bit of time to start a business. So you've got a domain registered with Venture IP, go to Wix.com, pick a template, and just fill in your details based on what the competitors are saying. Pest Control Sydney, 1 year of experience, 50 jobs completed. Just be truthful. Don't need to make it up. If you write 20 years of experience and you have barely any reviews or no reviews, it's really clear you're just making stuff up. So make some copy. Maybe don't, if you just fired up last week, maybe don't write 5 years of experience. So do a bit of a photo shoot with your phone, get some signage printed, get your logo printed, get some hats done, signage on the vehicle, show that you're a legitimate brand and not just some stock images on the site. Now that's plenty of homework already. So Wix website, Google business listing, figure out how to index that with Google by going to Google Search Console. Every step of the way right now, there are videos, not to mention ChatGPT will explain your steps. It's just about asking the question. Education right now is zero. Videos like this, there are millions of them. So there should be no excuse as to why someone can't register a Google listing. I don't expect you to build a crazy Wix website, but when you hit the hurdle, that's the moment where you find someone on Upwork, Fiverr. You can even find someone on onlinejobs.ph. Just be very careful with those platforms because you're basically dealing with a platform that's a bit more security. But then again, you're not really giving them access to your banking details. So that's my 5 cents. You are very far from a Google ad being fired up. Cost per lead right now is sitting at $100. 30 leads is $3K for 30 leads. Let's say your conversion rate is 30%. Your jobs better be 300, 400 upwards for that to be worthwhile. But what I find with Pest Control and a whole bunch of other spaces is the initial lead might not be positively geared, but if you do good work, you leave a magnet on the fridge, you smile, you're approachable, you have a laugh, you build a meaningful sort of connection with them, they will give you a buzz back when that date comes, when the mice are back. It's seasonal pest control. It needs to be done at least where I live. The pest control is back here at least once every 2 years. But every area is different. Depends on the house, could be termites. So don't be afraid if it's a negatively geared lead early on, because you're just trying to get some experience. You're just trying to get your name out there, because word of mouth is definitely a thing. If you do good work, people will recommend you. Hopefully that helps.